So in the last video you saw some text overlay that warned you that if you're using OBS for your background track that you're then performing on top of, there's going to be some problems. Essentially what you're going to be hearing is going to be out of time with what the audience hear, and it'll just sound horrible. If you try it if you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. So we're going to fix this. Now the first thing we need to do is, I'll just undo it there, is to mute this channel and to turn down this fader. The reason for this is because otherwise your audience will hear your voice twice, once through the original system we had it set up, and secondly through the DAW, which will be the next thing I'm going to be doing in a moment. Once you've got that much done, you now need to install some software on your Mac. In fact, what you need is this. It's called iShowU Audio Capture. This is a replacement for Soundflower. You might remember this. It's software that allows you to route audio from one application into another. There's a lot of things called iShowU Audio Capture. This is the one that you want. I put a link to this you'll find in the same place you found this video. So install that, follow the instructions on this site, and then you need to go to your Mac and open up the Applications Utilities folder. Now if you know me, you know I'm all about my shortcuts. Command-Shift-A was the shortcut to go to Applications, but Command-Shift-U actually jumps straight into the Utilities folder, which as you can see is a subfolder in the Applications folder. Anyway, let's open up the Audio Set MIDI setup, and I'm going to click here on this plus symbol. Now as soon as I start clicking around here, Logic's going to pop its head up. Just ignore it for now, I'll show you what that's doing in a moment. And I'm going to create a multi-output device. And there's Logic, as I warned you. The multi-output device will be the ID22 and iShowU Audio Capture. What this means is that I'm going to set Logic to this multi-output device for its audio output channel. Let's in fact name this, and I will call this ID22 iShowU. So if Logic is going to this multi-output channel, then the ID22 part will be what feeds my speakers, what I'm hearing here, and the iShowU is what I'm going to set for OpenOBS to have as its audio input. So essentially I've split the output of Logic to go to both of these places. So that's created. We can quit that. We can just say, yes, do use that. For some reason it always wants to ask that twice. If you've actually just said no by mistake, just go to Preferences, Audio, and make sure you set ID22 ShowU for your output device, but also make sure that your input device is set to, well, whatever your audio interface is. Now latency is going to be entirely down to this I/O buffer size setting here. As you're probably used to from any form of recording, there'll be some latency. Turn this down, you get less processing capability, but less latency, and vice versa. As you can see, we've got 12.7 milliseconds output. That's going to be bearable, I hope. And now I have my Logic session. Now you can see that I've got three things going on here. I've got the backing track. I've got the lav, which is this mic here. So if I did want to feed that into Logic, I could. And I've got Aston Origin, another mic that's just sitting down here. I've currently got this muted because otherwise this screen recording would have that weird delay double monitoring on it. But for your performance, you're going to need to turn that off. Okay, so that's all almost ready to go. We go to OBS, we click on Settings, and we go to Audio, and we choose a new mic auxiliary input, which will be the iShowU Audio Capture. Great. So this will by default already be set to monitor off, which is exactly what I want. And I'll close that down. So Logic is going to be going to two places. One, the speakers, what I can hear on my headphones. Secondly, it's going to iShowU Audio Capture, which is what's coming into OBS. So this means that if I now press play on my Logic session, start playing over the top, OBS. Set up recording. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Let's get rid of that double monitoring you can be hearing. Combine the previous video with this one, and hopefully you now have a full live streaming video service ready to go. Good luck with it.